Hi guys and gals, thank you so much for joining me back on the channel. So I thought we would spend 10-15 minutes talking about what on earth is value investing, this thing that you've come to this channel to learn all about. So where to start? Value investing is all essentially about buying something for less than it's worth, getting good value for your money, really. Sounds simple. Your favorite shampoo is 50% off today. Yep, you're going to load up on that, please. Your favorite clothes shop is having a January sale. Let's go down and see what bargains we can get. The new Xbox Series X or PlayStation 5 is coming out, and the old model, which is all you really needed anyway, is now even cheaper. You know exactly what you're getting, and you can buy it even cheaper. Bargain. All of these are situations where you would buy something even more when the price goes down. These are no-brainers, and there's no negative emotion involved. In fact, quite the opposite. You're happy to buy these things even cheaper now because you understand what they are. You understand what they're worth. You are happy to buy them cheaper than what they're worth. Stocks have crashed and they're now half off. Not so fast. Something's different here. Imagine I'm standing in the middle of a massive shopping center, massive mall, and all my favorite shops around me are having 50% sales, but everyone's running away. I heard one person shout fire in the distance, and now people are screaming. They're shouting the place is on fire. They can't get out of there fast enough. Here I am standing in the middle, mind boggled at all these people behaving in this irrational, weird way. I see no fire. I'm armed with a healthy bank account, and all I want to do today is just go out and buy some good stuff. I heard there was a sale on. I just shrug my shoulders and say, oh well, and just start browsing the now empty shops for the things that I know and love, which for some reason no one wants today. So I have a field day and I snap up loads of bargains. I may spot a few other rationally behaved members of the investing community and give them a friendly wave, even share a laugh or a few jokes at the folly of others. So I say it sounds simple, and it is. It really is simple, but simple doesn't mean easy necessarily. Those people running away, they're doing so for a reason. It may not be the correct reason or the rational one, but emotions have got them spooked. Investing is hard because to be standing in the middle of a crowd of people who are all going nuts and panicking, and to not panic yourself takes an understanding of the actual facts of the situation around you, and it requires the emotional fortitude to make intelligent decisions in those moments of intense emotion. But that is who we need to be. That person standing amongst the discounts, already knowing what we want to buy and ready to dive in. All good investing is value investing. You're laying out money today where you hope to get more back in the future. And the more money you get back in the future, and when you get it back, will dictate your rate of return. Knowing what a business is worth is not something you have to be particularly precise about, but you do have to have knowledge to know that you are directionally correct. And the more knowledge you have, the narrower your margin of error in that direction becomes. There are a number of key steps that exist in all value investing. One of them is understanding the business. So this is obtained by doing research into the business and its industry. This will help develop and increase what we call a circle of competence, where all your investment decisions need to remain within that circle. Phil Town talks about having a canyon and remaining within the walls of your canyon, and that canyon being a mile deep, an inch wide, but a mile deep. This is easier to do if you understand the business and can relate to it in some way by maybe interests or talents. For example, someone working in the semiconductor chip manufacturer might understand that sector better than someone who works in dairy farming, and that person can look at businesses in and around that area. By understanding the business, you can be more confident about the future that you assign to it. Part of understanding a business is assessing its management and its competence, and that's another factor, the management. But I'll come to management more in later videos. With the business understanding, you can then set about trying to calculate a term which you will hear a lot in value investing, which is intrinsic value. Right, cue Warren Buffett.
Is how do you find intrinsic value in a company?
Well, intrinsic value is the number that if you were all knowing about the future and could predict all the cash that a business would give you between now and Judgment Day, discounted at the proper discount rate, that number is what the intrinsic value of a business is. In other words, the only reason for making an investment and laying out money now is to get more money later on, right? That's what investing is all about.
So, trust me, when I first heard that, it was game changing for me. It was like a light bulb moment. So trust me, this definitely warrants repeating again. Intrinsic value is the number that if you were all knowing about the future and could predict all the cash that the business would give you between now and Judgment Day, discounted at the proper discount rate, which is in value investing is up for debate, and normally we use our desired rate of return for that. That number is what the intrinsic value of a business is. In other words, the only reason for making, and I mentioned this earlier in the video, the only reason for making an investment and laying out money now is to get more money in the future. That's what investing is all about. Why would you want to lay out money now to get less money back in the future? And the more money you get back in the future, and at what time you get it back, will dictate your rate of return between now and then. So yeah, that's a direct quote from the master himself, Warren Buffett. So with intrinsic value calculated, you then have a yardstick to measure the price of the business and its distance from this intrinsic value. A stock can fall 50% and still be overpriced above its intrinsic value, but without putting in the time to understand its intrinsic value in the first place, how will you be able to tell? You know, some people would think it dropping 50%, it must be a bargain. But if it was 200% over its intrinsic value already, then that just won't be the case, and it will not be a good investment. You know, a great company can be a terrible investment if you buy it at the wrong price. But you have to know where its intrinsic value lies to therefore know what is the correct price to buy it at, or in what range of prices intrinsic value is likely to lie, and therefore what range of prices is the correct price to pay. As value investors, we like to buy things at a massive discount to their intrinsic value. We call this the margin of safety. If you take away 3 words from this video, it is those: margin of safety. They are so important. These 3 words can provide you with valuable protection against your own errors and your own misjudgments. A margin of safety that I and many use is 50%. 50% off of intrinsic value. This gives you just that, a margin of safety against your own judgments being off or wrong. Think about it. If you were to build a bridge that would have to support 10-ton trucks driving across it, you don't build it to support 10 tons. You build it to support 20, and then you slap a big sign out the front and say 10-ton limit. You know, you need that margin of safety. So that's what we do the same with investing. If you have your favorite bag of coffee beans that you know are good quality, and that give you an amazing cup of brew every time, you're not going to pay £100 or $100 for that bag, are you? That would be insanity. It'd just be insanely overpriced. Anyone can see that. What if they drop 50% to £50, $50? Any rational person would say, no way. No, you'd know it's still overpriced. Maybe that bag of coffee beans normally retails for £10 or $10. If that same bag is discounted one day, visiting the store by 50%, would you buy up all that you can, all that you could fit in your cupboard back at home in the kitchen? Would you buy it for £5 a bag? I certainly would stock up with a few. Yeah. Because there we go. There's your 50%, margin of safety. The thing is, the stock market may be one of the only places in the world where that bag of coffee beans can be priced at $100 or £100 and everyone's still buying it. And then it can be priced at £5 or $5 and everyone's selling it at £5. People fear it will be priced at 110 tomorrow, so they buy at 100. And people also fear that it will be priced at 2 tomorrow, so they sell at 5. Value investors, with their emotions under control, strive to do the opposite. As Warren Buffett says, be fearful when everyone is greedy and be greedy when everyone is fearful. Sounds simple, but again, it's not necessarily easy to do. You have to have that understanding. You have to go through the process. Because we are armed with the knowledge of its intrinsic value, we can step in confidently when the opportunity presents itself. We've got to be ready when the market crashes. We've got to be ready when those companies come to us. We've got to already know them. We've got to have when it starts. Warren Buffett says, when it starts raining gold, you don't want to go out there with a little thimble. You want to go out there with a massive bucket, massive wash tub. So it is a simple thing, but that doesn't mean it's easy. What makes it easy goes back to what I mentioned earlier, understanding the business. If you understand the business and you know a company is worth 10 a share and everyone is panicking and selling it to you for 5, then you can step in and load up the truck. You could even profit by buying more if it continues to go down, and you won't be emotional and panicking when it keeps going lower. Honestly, this is, for me, when this finally happened for me, this was one of the best feelings for me about value investing. Being excited when something you've already bought drops further in price. Because you know and love it at the price you already bought it at, and it drops further. So you naturally want to buy more, and you get excited because it's now even cheaper. And then if the price goes up, you're also happy because that's when you start to make money. So it's great. It's a great feeling to be happy when prices go down and be happy when prices go up. But this is why the margin of safety is so important. What if you were wrong? And actually, as time goes on after the purchase, it turns out the company was only worth 8 a share. Well, by buying it with a massive margin of safety, you still make money. If the company goes back up to its intrinsic value of 10 a share in 3 years, you've made 100%. Over 3 years, which is 26% compound annual growth rate. That's 26% a year. That's an incredible rate of return. But even if you're wrong and it goes from 5 to 8, that's still 17% compound annual growth rate because you bought with a margin of safety. 70% is nothing to be sniffed at. I mean, the market, on average over an incredibly long period of time, has given you 10, maybe 12 with dividends. Protect the downside and the upside will take care of itself. Now this brings me to another thing that all value investing has. Patience. You have to learn to be patient. Ben Graham's character, Mr. Market, doesn't price dollar bills at 50% all the time, unfortunately. You have to be patient, waiting for that fat pitch to come right in your sweet spot. Then you have to be patient and waiting for it. Monish Pabrai says that if you like watching paint dry, this is the kind of game for you. So that is a high-level view of what value investing is really, and how it can be profitable and good for your emotional balance. So I hope you've enjoyed this video today about giving you an overview of what value investing is. I will discuss in more depth some of the topics touched upon in this video in later videos, such as how to understand a business's management, growth rates, calculating this intrinsic value, the character of Mr. Market, margin of safety, and many more. So be sure to subscribe if you want to be notified of these future videos, And if you liked and appreciated today's video, I would be so grateful if you could like below as well. It really does do a great deal to helping the channel grow for you. And yeah, please leave a comment and get in touch if there's any particular things that you'd like me to talk about. But with that said, let's all go out there and become super investors. Catch you on the next one. Take care.